Yeah, buddy. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We're coming back again. We made it. We're sticking with it. What a mess that last episode was. We're going to work to clean that up, get things a little tighter. So we got a good one going for you today, guys. We're going to see what's going on with last week, see what happened there, take a look at anything that I'm freaking out about, right? Let's touch in with our feelings, see how we feel, and see what kind of players we're targeting and on the trades and the waivers, and go through all of that. So how are we feeling, man? It is week 2. It is, we've had a chance to assess some players, some teams, see what's going on, see what's out there, get a vibe check. I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good over here. Week 1, we were 5-0. Got 5 teams going. Won every one of them. Not as fortunate in week 2. Hard to sustain an undefeated record. I get that. So week 2, we got a couple of wins. We went 2-3. 2-3 in week 2. And so now we're overall 7-3. I won one of my $100 leagues and lost in the other one. And then I won in a $20 league, the newbie league, and I lost in a $50 league. And the free league, who cares? It's a 10-team roster anyway on the free league. But for what it's worth, I did lose that one too. Tough, man. Tough. I just didn't have people show up. Jonathan Taylor, still waiting on you, buddy. I'm not worried, but it'd be cool with the number 1 overall pick if you got a little more involved there and started bribing some coaches or something. Not sure what's going on. If you don't have Michael Pittman and you don't have your number 1, number 2 receiver, just hand the ball off 30 times to one of the best players in the league. It seems pretty clear cut to me, but maybe not so much in Indianapolis. And Isaiah McKenzie, I had Gabe Davis. So made that pivot. I have Devin Singletary on my roster, which is a headache. I didn't want to take him, but I went so wide receiver heavy, like an idiot in that league, that I was scrambling for a running back, and I should have let that one go. But instead of pivoting to Devin Singletary, it doesn't matter how much they're up by. They still don't want to run the ball, the Bills. So I went for Isaiah McKenzie. Thought he'd step up. I was like, I'll take a number 2 for Josh Allen any day. And that didn't happen either. Kyle Pitts, still waiting on you too, buddy. Not as bad as Jonathan Taylor there, but I think we're all waiting on Kyle Pitts to show up. Freaking nature, but don't have to use him on the team. It's really tough. Must be. I don't understand some of these coaches, man. Don't understand them. What happened? That was in my White Rascal. That's the name of my team. The White Rascal. I'm a bartender. It's one of my favorite beers. We just got it on tap. I'm also white, and I'm a bit of a rascal. So very fitting there. My OG league. Lost that one too. That's one we've been running for 14 years. Really wanted to get a win in there. I'm trying to do something in that league. I didn't have the draft that I wanted. So Javonte didn't show up for me. Jamar Chase didn't show up. A.J. Dillon was, a shadow of Aaron Jones. And then, Kyle Pitts. Got a lot of stock at Kyle Pitts, so really need him to show up. And then the other guy had Waddle, Mark Andrews, Amari Cooper decided to rise from the grave. 49ers defense did pretty well, and then his kicker got double-digit points. So nothing I could really do there. Concerns for me after week 2. I am concerned with my White Rascal team, just all of my running backs. I'm concerned with the entire the entire force of running backs. Other than Jonathan Taylor, I've got Jonathan Taylor, Darrell Henderson, Rashad Penny, and then that Kenneth Walker guy out of Seattle. So Jonathan Taylor, not concerned about at all. Henderson, we're still trying to figure out what's going on in Los Angeles with the Rams. Rashad Penny looks great, and they want to run the ball, but how effective are they in doing so? And then, Kenneth Walker, like, I just hate having both running backs from Seattle. So I will be looking to make a trade there for sure, balance out that team. That is Jonathan Taylor hasn't shown up. Darrell Henderson, headache. Penny, headache. Walker, headache. We got to clear the waters on that team. So we'll be talking about that a little later in some trades. Looking at I've got another team for my other $100 league. Team name, Hollywood Hurts My Johnson. I thought that was pretty good. For having Hollywood Brown, Jalen Hurts, and Deontay Johnson on that team. So I like to get a little creative. I like to get in there and use the names of the players that I have and spice it up a bit. So Hollywood Hurts My Johnson. I'm concerned about Hollywood Brown. Concerned about the first person in the name of my team. Hasn't really showed up, even in the absence of what's his nuts. Really great receiver that is kind of a house. There's a big receiver that's not there in Arizona, and I can't think of his name. This is what you get on Extremely Average Fantasy Football Podcast. Probably should have said the name of the show a lot earlier. We're working on it. It's Cluster. We're working on it. DeAndre Hopkins would be the guy that I am trying to think of, but Hollywood has not really stepped up. The Arizona offense has kind of looked terrible all around, so a little concerned. I'm hoping he's had a couple double-digit games, and hoping I can capitalize and put him in a package deal to just ship that off and not worry about it anymore. Other team that I'm any concerns with my Chiefs and Queefs? That's another team that I got going on. That is my newbie league. That's the $20 league. I have zero concerns there. Newbies are dropping people they shouldn't be dropping. I think last episode I talked about Chris Godwin and running back for Pittsburgh Steelers, Najee Harris. This is it. Extremely average, man. We don't know people, but both of those hit the waiver wire. I was able to snag Chris Godwin this week. Jalen Hurts hits the waiver wire. I am priority one. Now, I have Lamar Jackson already, but I'm not an idiot. I'm going to pick up Jalen Hurts and see if I can make a deal somewhere, or worst case scenario, like just stash both awesome players. But I'll probably try to make a move and see what I can get. I'll probably honestly ship off Lamar Jackson after his great week. I like Jalen Hurts a lot. I have him in a lot of leagues. I think almost every league except for this one. So not really worried about Chiefs and Queefs. More miles than your mom. That is an old name from last year, and I've kept it. I had DJ Moore, Miles Sanders on that team last year, which was a headache, but more miles than your mom I thought was good. Worried about my bench depth. My bench depth in that league is non-existent. We're looking at, on the bench, Dameon Pierce, Chase Edmonds, Kadarius Toney, barf. Joshua Palmer, Khalil Herbert, and Tyler Algier. It's just like looking at the waiver wire on my bench, kind of. Minus Dameon Pierce, Chase Edmonds. I need him to have a good week so I can trade him. Kadarius Toney is on the drop charts for me. Joshua Palmer, I'll use him maybe until Keenan Allen gets back. Maybe Khalil Herbert might hold on to see if he can keep taking a chunk out of David Montgomery's work over there in Chicago. Tyler Algier, it's just like Cordero Patterson. I don't think he's built to take the carries that we've seen in the past, and so gonna maybe hold on to him. But that whole bench needs a facelift, man. my free league, the 10 teams, suck up my Johnson. That is my team name. I have, I think it's Ryan Suckup is my kicker. And then I have some Johnson in there. Somebody's hanging around in there. Deontay would be the guy that I'm looking for. Deontay Johnson. So suck up my Johnson. I just need Christian McCaffrey and Javonte Williams to kind of show up. That's it. I'm not too worried about it. It's 10-team league, so it's pretty stacked. So yeah, that's my concerns and my feelings. That's kind of where I'm looking at right now, trying to assess the team, trying to build around my good players and maybe package something off, get something different. Jalen Hurts has been awesome. Rashad Bateman was supposed to have a breakout year. It's looking good, even though a lot of his points are coming from big yards and touchdowns. It's not the consistent work that you're looking for, but he's been a nice surprise. DeAndre Swift, I had high hopes for him coming into the year, and he's living up to it. Even if you only get a few touches with, an injury, he's still making that happen. He's incredible. Love that dude. Christian Kirk has been a nice surprise. I like that. Great value there. Gabe Davis, when he's on the field, we only saw, small sample size week 1, but I like where that's going. Dameon Pierce, I'm excited about. Got a couple of leagues with him in my team, and looks like he's really starting to take over. I think he'll grow as the year goes on. Am I excited about having a running back for Houston who's probably going to be behind and throwing the ball a lot? Not necessarily, but I think that's good stuff. Chris Olave, supposed to kind of beef up throughout the season. A couple rookies going on here. We like the young bucks. Give me that young blood, baby. And let's get it rolling. I like Chris Olave. The offense is kind of wonky right now, but Michael Thomas, if he stays healthy, great. Jarvis Landry had, he's in front of him, but we'll see what happens there. It's still a little ambiguous over there. And Chris Olave is just starting to get some really good looks. Like the targets and looks that he's getting are quality downfield targets. So I like the air yards underneath Chris Olave. And hey, I got Alvin Kamara on here as an anticipation. I think he's undervalued. I think that, he's got a big name on him too. I might try, maybe like if I could get a Kamara for a Swift or something, good luck. But that's the kind of trade guy I am. I love to throw hot garbage everywhere and see what's going on. So speaking of trades and analyzing the team and everything going on there, the waiver wire went through last night. Oops. I forgot about that guy. Did not submit any claims. I got my days off, man. I got my days mixed up. I did not submit any claims. I had to scramble. Good thing is I am a bartender, and at night when I got home, it was notification after notification after notification of people making moves. So I have the note, and I was like, oh man, I should make a move. So it was kind of good to get in there at that time. I like to put in my claims before, obviously put those in before, then I get those alerts and I see who's been dropped from different teams, then I can go through and reassess again, but didn't get there. Forgot it, man. Forgot it. Julio Jones, drop. I dropped him for Chris Olave. And Julio might be the hot hand now, but I think Olave's got the long game in there. I also like to watch some rookies kind of come up and that's just fun for me. Julio Jones, yeah, everybody's like, he looked fast and there's nobody else to catch the ball in Tampa Bay. I totally get that. But week 1, he looked fast, but at the end of the play, he was gassed, man. He looked rough. Oh, woof, dude. The guy looked like he was 40-something. So I made a long-term move on that one. Robert Woods, that was I dropped him. It's a 10-team league. I dropped him, dude. I just don't. That's what was tough for me with Treylon Burks last week and trying to hold on to him. There's Tennessee. I just really not sure who they are and like what they're doing. The passing game just doesn't seem to be there. And I don't really want to, Woods coming off an injury. Treylon Burks creeping up behind him. It's a headache. I don't like it, man. I want life to be easy. I like comfort. So got rid of him. Lave I targeted to pick up. And, if you're listening to any fantasy podcasts or reading any fantasy articles, everybody's talking about the Commanders wide receivers and Carson Wentz. I'm not there. I don't. It seems nice and flashy right now. I don't see them continuing this. I just, I think that the talent is there. Curtis Samuel, rose from the grave. Antonio Gibson looking good because he's healthy. So is Curtis Samuel. Jahan Dotson, new guy in town, looking good, getting some red zone action. That one I could almost buy. Could almost buy that one. But it's really difficult for me to get on the Tennessee train right now. So I'm just staying away from that one. So let's get into the trades finally, right? That's what we're here for. It's going into week 3. We've got some samples from our players. We've done some analysis. We know where we need to work on. We know where we're weak. We're trying to, sell high and buy low and find bargains, man. What? It just takes so long for me to do that. It takes so long. I'll stare at my phone and I'll look at this, and then another trade offer comes in, and so I got to look at that. But then I'm like flipping to different teams. I think this is part of just being, having like 5 different teams. I think that's where I'm struggling. I knew it was going to be a challenge. 3 is my magic number. Really should just focus on 3, pick 3 and focus on them, and then kind of dabble in the other 2, which is what I think I'll get to. It's just at the beginning of the season, there's a lot of information to take in and a lot of value, coming through. Who's hot, who's not, what's going on, right? But I spent like 3 hours last night. I think I only put out 3 trades. It shouldn't take this long, but I get attached. To people. Yeah, I'm holding out for this guy, seeing if he does anything. Alan Lazard hit the waiver wires in one of my leagues. Don't know if I'm ready to give him up yet. Not a great performance in week 2. Still think the potential's there. He's younger. He's got the body for it. Does he have the hands? Can we get him the ball and have the hands? So it's just like... But man, so here we go. One of my trades that I threw out there, and I told you I love to throw hot garbage. I love it, but I'm trying to get A.J. Dillon. I'm trying to get A.J. Brown. One guy has them both. So I offered him Hollywood Brown and Kareem Hunt for A.J. Dillon and A.J. Brown. Here was my rationale. Now, if this trade came to me, no freaking way, dude. No way. That is an LOL. Almost disrespectful if somebody were to offer me that. But I just like to get the conversation started. And I totally want to find a bargain. So if I can get something on the cheap, I'm going to get some on the cheap. A.J. Dillon lost, even though he had the touches, like his performance wasn't as good as Aaron Jones. We saw Aaron Jones come up last week. So if I can get A.J. Dillon on a down week, I'm all in. A.J. Brown, my argument is, Jalen Hurts doesn't have to throw the ball. The targets aren't going to be there. And if you're splitting it with, Devontae Johnson? Is there another Johnson in Philadelphia? There's another dude, a wide receiver too. Believe it or not, the Eagles have another receiver out there somewhere, and I forget his name, but he's going to, cut into that. And my argument is that they're basically doing an even trade, and I just want the stack with A.J. Brown, right? Because A.J. Brown is number 1 in Philadelphia. Hollywood Brown is number 1 in Arizona. You have Hurts to A.J., Kyler to Hollywood. I'm trying to chalk it up as a very even deal. And then Kareem Hunt. Same thing with A.J. Dillon. That is a number 2 running back. Both pass catching. And here's my selling point, is there's no one else to go to in Arizona but Hollywood Brown. And Cleveland, all they do is run the ball. So the opportunities are more in that trade. Got to start somewhere, man. You got to start somewhere. I wouldn't do it, but that's the trade. I would probably throw somebody else in there too, to sweeten that pot. I don't even know who's on that team. I think I sent a message after, I'll be like, I'll throw Olave in there just to, make it interesting. But you got to lowball, man. This is business. That's what happens. You lowball me, I lowball you. We start creeping up and up and up. And see if we can find something that works. Another one that I threw out there, this one I think actually might be a decent trade for this person if they see it the right way. Again, I'm going after A.J. Dillon. So I have Jonathan Taylor, and they have Cam Akers. So that's important to know. I'm going after A.J. Dillon and Nyheim Hines. A.J. Dillon's my target. Nyheim Hines is the backup for Jonathan Taylor. So that's just insurance for me. And I'm trading away Henderson and Rashad Penny. Let's get rid of that headache. Now, hey, if they have Cam Akers, I'm giving them Henderson. Hey, this is my sell. No more stress about the Rams backfield, right? Have them both. Have both Henderson and Akers. You can sort it out later. And then I'm also giving you Rashad Penny, the number one right now for Seattle, and Seattle loves to run the ball. So no more headache. And I'm giving you a spot start running back that you can plug and play, where Nyheim Hines that you have on your roster right now is just there in case Jonathan gets hurt, and then you have somebody that can step up. So no more headache, and somebody you can spot start and put in your roster on a good matchup. Give me A.J. Dillon and Nyheim Hines. I think that's a pretty decent deal for that situation, right? In a vacuum, probably wouldn't do that. But for that situation, we might be a go. Another trade that I threw out there, Gabe Davis. That's another one of my targets. If I can get him, he only had 1 week and then he was hurt. So if I can get him, if somebody's a little about him, I'm going to try. I'm going to go for it. Gabe Davis for Chase Edmonds and Khalil Herbert. So I'm giving you two running backs, and I think that I think they've only got a couple, and then they just drop off after that. And so they have other receivers on their team, and they need some running backs. Look, man, I'll give you the number one for Miami and a hot offense right now. I'll even throw you Khalil Herbert. Yes, he's sharing with Montgomery, and last week it didn't even look like it was a split share, but he is sharing with Montgomery, and there's even talks of Khalil Herbert increasing that role on that team. So I think that one's actually all right too. Now, would I do it? If I didn't have any running back depth and I had other receivers that I could rely on, sure, I'd probably do that. Maybe. I love Gabe Davis, dude. I love him. Another one that I've been working with one of my buddies on in one of my leagues, my Hollywood Hurts My Johnson league. I told you that Alan Lazard hit the waiver wires, and the guy that dropped him did not mean to drop him. So he has been trying to get Alan Lazard from me, and we've been trying to work something out, and it is just not going anywhere. I mean, this is like almost a week of talks to try to get something, but I just don't see. I don't see man, it sounds terrible to say. I don't like his roster. I don't like his roster at all. And so there's nobody there that I would be willing to really work with. And I try to be open about it. But let's just see if we can open it up real quick. Okay, so he has Kyler Murray. I have Jalen Hurts. I'm not too worried about that. The only person that I like, and this is what it's kind of come down to, is Michael Pittman Jr. So he has Michael Pittman Jr. I'm interested in. CeeDee Lamb. I'm not really interested in CeeDee Lamb. I think the talent's there, but like quarterback situation iffy, even though he did have probably one of the best games with Cooper Rush, the backup quarterback, versus Dak Prescott from week one. So but I don't like what's going on in the Dallas offense. Austin Eckler, but I've got a plethora of running backs. This is my DeAndre Swift, Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt, Dameon Pierce. I've got all of those on my team. So, and Eckler we've seen a decrease in usage, and I don't know if I'm there with Eckler. James Robinson, pretty attractive, but if he stays healthy, I think he's coming off an Achilles, and I just don't trust an Achilles injury. Travis Kelce, probably asking too much for me to do anything with that. And I have Kyle Pitts, and I'm just kind of waiting for him to beef up. And then Garrett Wilson, I'm not going to do anything. Chase Edmonds, Tyler Lockett, Brandon Cooks, kind of interesting. Jeff Wilson Jr., don't really want anything to do with San Francisco's backfield. Plus, I have Elijah Mitchell on IR right now. Damian Harris. Yeah, New England likes to run the ball, but I don't know. That's a tough sell. Treylon Burks, he picked that up for me. Brian Robinson, Dak Prescott. So we have been trying. It's been a week worth of talks, and we cannot get there. He's offered me Pittman and Lockett for Javonte Williams and Allen Lazard. Oh, yeah, I also have Javonte Williams in that. Like, it's ridiculous. DeAndre Swift, Javonte Williams, Alvin Kamara, and Kareem Hunt. Like, this is when I went pretty running back heavy. I just cannot. He wants Javonte for Pittman straight up. I can't do that. Pittman and Lockett for Javonte and Lazard. Like, Lockett's not attractive to me at all. That's an offense that wants to run the ball, and I'm just, I'm over it. I'd rather take Lazard. You got Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball and that's potentially the number one target. Give me that over Geno Smith's number 2. I'm going to take that all day. Pittman, yeah, he is a target machine. Colts can't operate without him, apparently, but Javonte Williams, I feel like we haven't seen his ceiling yet. He's great in the pass game. This is a PPR league. I'm not going to do that. So we've been trying. It's not working. Back and forth. I went and offered him Hollywood Brown and Allen Lazard for Michael Pittman, and he said it was insulting. I thought I would be more willing to do that. I'm trying to get rid of this Hollywood Brown situation before it gets really bad. That's what's happening here. But always got to write a little love note in my trades. I try to sell. Hey, this is what I'm thinking. This is why this is a good deal. Let me know if there's anybody else that you're interested in on my team. And I leave it open. All right. Hey, you get this dude and this dude. Just like I was saying with you guys here. Always let me know if there's anybody else you're interested in my team. Let's get a conversation started. Yeah, I'm gonna throw hot garbage. Put on some gloves and catch it. It'll cool down a little bit. You throw me back some mildly hot garbage. I'll throw you back some room temperature garbage. And we keep doing this until we both have happy garbage. That's what we're going for here. That is trades. We're going to keep working on that. I try to get it done before Thursday so everybody can have their stuff together, so I can have my stuff together. Always fun trying to do these trades. I've probably been involved in more trade offers this year than any other year, and I'm digging it, baby. I'm digging it. Hot garbage. All right. Roster roast. Let's get into some roster roast, man. Who am I going? Jerry's team? That's what we're looking at. Let's get some Jerry's team going on, man. I'm about to roast this guy's roster. I think that this is one of the matchups that I have going on. And if I can find it, there we go. Matchups coming up, Jerry's team. All right, this is Hollywood Hurts My Johnson. I have Jalen Hurts against Washington, Hollywood Brown against the Rams, Deontay Johnson against Cleveland, DeAndre Swift against Minnesota, Alvin Kamara against Carolina, Kyle Pitts against Seattle, Javonte Williams against San Francisco, Ryan Suckup against Green Bay, and then Cleveland defense against Pittsburgh. But who cares about kickers and defenses, right? They have Tom Brady washed up. Not washed up, but who are you going to throw it to, buddy? If Julio Jones isn't out there, who are you going to throw it to? That's what I'm wondering. I mean, we did see We did see Chicago run on Green Bay pretty well. So, yeah, like Tom Brady's not even going to be involved. It's going to be Leonard Fournette. Tom Brady is done. This is why I picked this roster for my roster roast. He has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, all three of the Bengals players in his lineup. Now, for context, they are all facing the New York Jets. But he is riding or dying with Cincinnati, who Joe Burrow's been on his ass more than any other quarterback right now. T. Higgins, I'm assuming he's going to play. Jamar Chase didn't really show up last week. So if the Jets can somehow get a pass rush going against a terrible offensive line, I think we've got something. Joe Mixon, I think they're just not they need to rely on him, and they're not doing it right now. We'll see what happens. But, dude, you got 3 players on the same team, dude. If that doesn't go well, and they're on the road, if that doesn't go well, it's all me, baby. A.J. Dillon, yeah, sure. But you're going against Tampa Bay defense. Like, the run defense is incredible over in Tampa Bay. So, A.J. Dillon's not going to produce. Dawson Knox, nice that he's on a Buffalo team, but like they don't need a tight end. He's not going to get any. Dawson Knox is like sounds good in theory, not going to get anything. He does have A.J. Brown, so I'll be feeding him points with Jalen Hurts. That might be the only thing going on. But even A.J. Brown, if it's Washington, like the thing is Jalen Hurts can just run the football himself. He doesn't need to throw it. So let him scramble. Let him run. Jalen Hurts is going to have over 100 rushing yards in this game. I love that for me. Tyler Bass, whatever. Buffalo kicker, whatever, dude. Tampa Bay defense against Green Bay. Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is going to score some points. There might be some turnovers going on there, maybe. But dude, you're rolling with 3 guys from the same team, and then you have some no-shows. This team's going to fall flat on its face. I'm looking forward to getting to 3-0 with Hollywood Hurts My Johnson. Hopefully, man. Fingers crossed on that one. Hail Mary. The toughest matchup of the week. Let's go back to my 1-1 White Rascal. All right, I've got Jalen Hurts against Washington, A.J. Brown against Washington, Rashad Bateman against New England, Jonathan Taylor against Kansas City, Darrell Henderson against Arizona, Kyle Pitts against Seattle, Gabe Davis against Miami, kicker, defense, and then IDP, individual defensive player, right? Whatever. Russell Wilson is his quarterback. Good luck, dude. Russell looks terrible against San Francisco. Stop. Done. Russell's going to fall over. Russell probably leaves that game. I don't hope for an injury for anybody, but I think emotionally he's going to have to leave and cry in a corner somewhere. So I'm not expecting big things from Russell Wilson. Plus Jerry Jeudy is out, and you've got some scraps. KJ Hamler, sure, but he's like kind of banged up. It's Cortland Sutton in the backfield. Tight ends aren't doing anything over there either. Deebo Samuel against Denver. Denver's got a pretty good defense, but San Francisco really knows how to they really know how to use their players. So that's a Kyle Shanahan offense. Deebo Samuel is a beast. That one's a little concerning for me, especially when you have Jimmy Garoppolo back in there, and he's going to be, he's going to be throwing the ball. Deebo Samuel's going to be catching the ball. And if Jeff Wilson Jr. can't get it on the ground, then Deebo Samuel will get it on the ground. So Deebo Samuel is going to go off. Amon-Ra St. Brown on a freaking tear right now against Minnesota, at Minnesota in a dome. But, yeah, Detroit's looking really good. Amon-Ra is a stud. That's going to be tough. This is the Hail Mary. This is where it's going to be a tough show. I know I ripped on Russell Wilson. Will get his feathers ruffled out there in San Francisco. But Deebo Samuel, tough one. Amon-Ra St. Brown, tough one. Saquon Barkley. Oh, God. It's getting worse. Saquon Barkley versus Dallas. Oh, Dallas is struggling. Saquon's looking great. That's going to be tough. Najee Harris against Cleveland. Cleveland's got a good defense. Najee's a little banged up. We'll see what happens there. But, man, It could just be volume alone. It could be volume that gets him there, and I mean, he's a talented player, so that's kind of tough. Gerald Everett, he picked up Gerald Everett. It's against Jacksonville. If Joe Burrow is not feeling himself, or if those long downfield throws are tough on the ribs, Gerald Everett might clean up, man. That could absolutely happen. Curtis Samuel on a tear right now. He's going to get peppered. And then kicker for Atlanta. New Orleans defense against Carolina. That's something, too. So that's going to be a tough one. Projected 119, I'm projected 113. So it says it's a little closer, but man, everybody's got to show up for me to win that one, y'all. That is going to be tough. So there it is. We laid out last week. We laid out this week. Hey, send me your rosters. If you want me to go through and critique, see what's up, you can get some extremely average fantasy football advice from me. Absolutely. You can do that extremely average ffpod@gmail.com if you want to. Or reach out on any of the social media. You can find it on YouTube. I got a link. Instagram. I got a link on there. Everywhere that I am, go to the link. It's in the bio. It's in the description. Apple Podcasts, maybe. I might be, it might just be Spotify right now. We're working on getting Apple going. But find the link in the bio, in the description. It'll show you all my contact information. And hats off to all the terrible trades out there, y'all. Good luck in week 3. Throw some hot garbage, baby.